Let's be brutally honest for a moment. Men have been lied to for decades about women. You've been told to just be nice, to buy her flowers, to chase her until she gives in. And yet, here's the cold truth most men don't want to hear. Chasing almost never works. In fact, the more you chase, the faster she runs. The more you beg for her attention, the less she wants to give it. It's harsh, it's uncomfortable, and yes, it's controversial, but it's reality. Women are not attracted to desperation. They don't crave a man who bends over backwards to please them. What they crave, though they'll rarely admit it out loud, is a man who has options, who carries himself with confidence, and who values himself so much that he doesn't need to beg for validation. That's the man she notices, the man she respects, and ultimately, the man she chases. Now, here's where most men get it wrong. They think making her chase means playing games, being manipulative, or pretending to be someone you're not. That's not what this is about. The truth is simpler and far more powerful. If you know how to position yourself, if you understand female psychology, and if you master a few key shifts in your mindset and behavior, you can flip the dynamic completely. Suddenly, the woman who wasn't even interested starts leaning in, sending the first text, and wondering why she can't stop thinking about you. This video is not about being nice. It's about being real. It's about waking up to the hidden rules no one told you. The rules that separate the men women tolerate from the men women chase. And once you understand these secrets, you'll never look at attraction the same way again. 1. Stop chasing, start ignoring. One of the hardest truths for men to accept is this: the more you chase a woman, the less she values you. It sounds backward, but that's how attraction works. When you're running after her, texting nonstop, checking her social media, and constantly asking for her attention, what you're really telling her is, I have nothing better going on in my life than you. And let's be real. There is nothing less attractive than a man who makes a woman the center of his world before she's even earned that spot. Think about it this way. Humans don't value what's easily available. If she knows that no matter what she does, you'll still come running, where's the excitement? Where's the challenge? She gets bored because she already has full control. That's when she starts ignoring you, keeping you in the friend zone, or stringing you along while she looks for someone else. The shift is simple. Instead of chasing, you learn to pull back. You don't ignore her to be cruel. You ignore her to reclaim your value. You give less of your time, less of your energy, and less of your attention. This makes her start questioning, why isn't he running after me like the others? That question is powerful because it flips the script. Suddenly, you're not the desperate guy trying to win her approval. You're the man she has to figure out, the man she has to chase. This isn't about playing games. It's about respecting yourself enough to stop over-investing in someone who hasn't shown the same effort. Once you stop chasing, she's forced to decide, either step up and give you her attention or risk losing you altogether. And believe me, most women hate losing what they can't control. 1. Imagine this. You meet a woman and you hit it off. Instead of texting her every hour, you leave her wondering. You don't reply instantly because you're busy living your life. You don't cancel plans with your friends just because she's suddenly free. At first, she might act annoyed, but deep down, she's intrigued. She starts checking her phone more, wondering why you haven't reached out yet. Before long, she's the one sending the first message. Why? Because you stopped chasing and made her realize your attention is not guaranteed. When you master this, you stop being just another guy in her inbox. You become the man she has to earn. 2. Nice guys repel, confidence attracts. Here's a bitter pill most men don't want to swallow. Being the nice guy doesn't make her want you. It makes her avoid you. Society has tricked men into thinking that if you're overly polite, if you agree with everything she says, if you treat her like a queen before she's even proven she deserves it, then she'll fall for you. But the truth, she won't. Being too nice actually pushes her away. Why? Because nice without confidence feels fake. It feels weak. A woman knows when you're being nice just to get something from her, and that type of energy repels her. She doesn't want a man who's desperate for approval. She wants a man who already approves of himself. Confidence is what makes kindness attractive. Without confidence, your niceness is nothing but submission. A confident man can still be kind, but he doesn't bend over backwards for attention. He has boundaries. He knows when to say no. He isn't afraid to disagree. He gives compliments, but not because he's hoping for something in return. That's the kind of energy that excites women because it shows strength. On the other hand, the nice guy who never speaks up, who's always available, who can't say no, he becomes predictable, boring, and unappealing. She might use him for favors or friendship, but she won't desire him. So the lesson is clear. Stop trying to be the perfect gentleman who hides his true self. Be confident in who you are, even if that means not everyone likes you. That raw, unapologetic confidence is far more magnetic than empty niceness. 1. Imagine this. A woman tells you, "I don't date guys who go to the gym. It's too much." A nice guy would laugh nervously, agree with her, and maybe even pretend he doesn't like the gym just to impress her. A confident man, he'd smile and say, "That's fine, but I love the gym. It keeps me sharp." Notice the difference. The nice guy hides himself to win her over, but the confident man stands firm. Guess which one she'll respect and keep thinking about later? Exactly. At the end of the day, niceness alone doesn't spark attraction. Confidence does. Niceness with confidence is powerful, but niceness without confidence is weakness. 3. Scarcity makes you valuable. One of the most overlooked secrets in attraction is scarcity. Men often believe that by being constantly available, always answering messages instantly, always making time, always saying yes, they'll win her over. But the truth is, the more available you are, the less she values you. Scarcity creates value. It's the same reason gold is precious and water is cheap. What's rare is desired. Think about your own life. When something is too easy to get, you don't appreciate it. If someone gives you all their attention without you lifting a finger, you take it for granted. It's only when you feel you could lose it, or when it's not always accessible, that you start to crave it more. Attraction works the exact same way. When you're constantly around, constantly chasing, constantly giving, you remove all mystery. She knows she can have your attention at any time. And guess what? That kills her curiosity. But when you're not always available, when you have your own life, your own priorities, your own goals, suddenly she starts to notice. She starts to wonder where you are, who you're with, and why you're not chasing her like the rest. That little bit of scarcity makes her want more. Here's the thing most men never realize. Women are naturally drawn to men who seem difficult to lock down. Not because women like to suffer, but because it feels like winning a prize. If your attention is scarce, she feels special when she gets it. If it's always available, she feels nothing. Think about the men you know who never struggle with women. Do they sit by the phone waiting? Do they rearrange their entire schedule the moment she calls? No. They're busy. They have a life. They're focused on their mission, their growth, their goals, and because of that, their time feels rare and therefore valuable. Women chase them not because they're unavailable forever, but because they're not easy to pin down. Scarcity doesn't mean playing games or pretending you're busier than you are. It means genuinely having things in your life that matter more than her attention. When you carry yourself like a man with purpose, your presence naturally becomes rare and your value rises. If you want her to chase you, stop being everywhere all the time. Start being scarce, because what is scarce is desired. 4. Her attention isn't free. Men need to wake up to a hard reality. Her attention is not free. Too many guys act like a woman's time, her smile, her text message, or even her presence is some kind of gift from heaven. They treat every glance like it's worth more than gold, and they pay for it with their energy, their money, and their self-respect. That mindset is killing you, let's be honest. Most men are guilty of this. You give everything just to keep her looking your way. You spend money you don't have, cancel plans just because she called, and sacrifice your focus and goals simply because she gave you a little attention. And what happens? You get trapped. You turn into her entertainment, her backup option, her little ego boost when she's bored. You need to understand this clearly. Attention is a currency, and if you're paying too much for it, you'll always end up broke. Emotionally, mentally, and even financially. A woman's attention has value, but only if it comes with respect and effort on her part too. If she's giving you crumbs while you're offering the whole loaf, you've already lost. This is where men must wake up. Stop treating her attention like it's the prize. You are the prize. Your energy, your ambition, your presence, those are valuable. If she isn't matching your effort, why are you working overtime just for a smile or a reply? That's desperation, and desperation never attracts respect. The harsh truth is this: some women will give you just enough attention to keep you hanging, while they invest their real energy into someone else. And if you don't recognize that game, you'll keep chasing while she keeps laughing. That's why you must draw the line. When you start valuing your own attention, things change. You no longer settle for half effort. You don't let her play with your time. You stop begging for her validation because you already validate yourself. And here's the irony. When you stop giving her free access to your attention, she suddenly starts fighting for it. She starts putting in effort because now it means something. Men, stop giving away your power. Her attention is not free, so stop paying with your dignity. Wake up and make her earn what you've been giving away too easily. 5. Sexual energy beats sweet words. Here's a truth that will shock a lot of men. Women don't fall for endless compliments, sweet words, or romantic poetry. They fall for energy, and not just any energy, sexual energy. That unspoken vibe that tells her, without you saying a single word, I'm a man and I'm not afraid of desire. Most men think talking their way into a woman's heart is the answer. They overuse flattery, constantly text cute messages, and believe that being sweet will somehow make her chase. But here's the problem. Sweetness without desire is bland. It makes you feel more like her safe friend than her potential lover. She might enjoy the attention, but she won't feel the spark. Sexual energy is different. It's the way you carry yourself, the way you look into her eyes a second longer than usual, the confidence in your posture, the certainty in your voice. It's the masculine presence that makes her feel your attraction without you ever needing to spell it out. Women crave that energy because it separates the men they only like from the men they can't stop thinking about. Think about it. How many men have you seen stuck in the friend zone because they were too scared to show desire? They tried to be polite, too safe, too gentle. Meanwhile, the guy who didn't even say much but carried himself with raw masculine energy is the one she's chasing. That's because he communicated attraction without begging for it. Now, don't confuse sexual energy with being aggressive or disrespectful. It's not about crossing boundaries or forcing anything. It's about embracing your masculinity unapologetically. It's showing her that you're confident in who you are, that you're not ashamed of attraction, and that you don't need to hide it behind endless sweet words. Women can smell the difference between fake charm and real desire. Sweet words are easy. Anyone can send a text full of emojis and compliments. But not every man can radiate energy that makes her heart race and her mind wander when you're not even around. That's the difference. The moment you stop relying only on words and start embodying sexual energy, the dynamic shifts. Suddenly, you're not just another nice guy. You're the man she feels. And when she feels you, she can't ignore you. Stop hiding behind empty sweetness. Let your energy speak louder than your words. 6. Options make you powerful. One of the biggest mistakes men make is putting all their focus on one woman, as if she's the only option in the entire world. That desperation shows, and women can feel it instantly. When a man has no options, he clings, he compromises too much, and he tolerates behavior he shouldn't. That weakness kills attraction. Here's the reality. Options make you powerful. When you know there are other women out there who would gladly give you their time, you stop acting like this one woman is your only chance at happiness. You stop begging, stop overthinking, and stop tolerating disrespect. Instead, you start behaving like a man with standards. And nothing is more attractive than that. Let's be real, women can sense when you have options. It's not about bragging or flaunting, it's about the quiet confidence you carry. When you know you don't need to chase anyone, you move differently. You're not scared to walk away. And ironically, that's when she wants you more. On the flip side, When you don't have options, you're always available. You answer texts instantly. You cancel your life to fit her schedule. You become predictable. She knows she has all the control because you've made her the center of your universe. That's not attractive. It's suffocating. Having options doesn't mean being dishonest or playing games. It means knowing your worth and refusing to settle for less than respect and genuine interest. It means focusing on your growth, your lifestyle, and your social circle so that you naturally meet women who are drawn to you. When you do this, women can feel that they're not the only ones on your radar, and that scarcity makes your attention valuable. Here's the hard truth. The man who can walk away is always more powerful than the man who can't. If she knows you have options, she'll think twice before disrespecting you. If she knows you don't, she'll treat you however she wants because she knows you won't leave. So stop obsessing over one woman as if she's your entire world. Expand your circle, build yourself, live your life. When you have options, you stop chasing and women start chasing you. At the end of the day, men with options win, always. 7. Mystery triggers obsession. If you want to make a woman chase you, here's one truth you cannot ignore. Mystery is powerful. The less she knows about you, the more she thinks about you. The more she thinks about you, the more obsessed she becomes. But when you give away everything about yourself too quickly, you kill the curiosity that fuels attraction. Most men make this mistake. They overshare. On the first date, they unload their entire life story. Through text, they reveal every detail of their daily routine. On social media, they post every move they make. They think being an open book will make her feel close to them. In reality, it makes her bored. Why? Because there's nothing left to figure out. Women are naturally curious. They want to decode, discover, and uncover layers of who you are. When you're mysterious, you make her chase for answers. She wonders where you are, what you're doing, and who you're with. That wondering creates tension, and tension creates attraction. Mystery doesn't mean being distant or cold. It means holding something back. It means not revealing everything at once. It means letting her experience you in doses, so she's always left wanting more. Think about your favorite TV show. You don't get the whole story in the first episode. Each week you come back because of the cliffhanger, the unanswered questions. That's exactly how mystery works in attraction. The man who is mysterious forces her to invest. She'll replay conversations in her head, analyze your behavior, and even test you to get more information. But the man who overshares? She already has the answers. There's nothing left to chase. This is why the quiet, confident guy often attracts more attention than the loud, desperate one. His mystery creates an aura that makes her lean in closer. She can't quite figure him out, and that drives her wild. Remember, obsession isn't built on certainty. It's built on curiosity. If you give her everything up front, you rob her of the chase. But if you master the art of mystery, you plant yourself in her mind. And once you're there, it's hard for her to let go. Don't be an open book. Be a story she can't stop reading. 8. Validation is weakness. Here's a hard truth most men refuse to accept. The moment you start seeking validation from a woman, you lose power. When you crave her approval, whether it's through constant compliments, checking if she likes you, or waiting for her to confirm your worth, you hand her control of the entire dynamic. And nothing kills attraction faster than a man who looks to a woman to feel good about himself. Think about it. Every time you ask, "Do you like me?" or fish for reassurance, what you're really saying is, "I'm not enough until you tell me I am." That's weakness. A man who needs validation is basically telling her she's the prize, and he's just hoping to be chosen. And guess what? Women don't chase men who put themselves below them. The problem is, many men confuse interest with validation. They believe that if she texts back fast, it means they're valuable. If she compliments them, it means they're worthy. If she doesn't, it means they're nothing. That mindset is dangerous because it ties your confidence to her mood, her words, and her actions. It makes you a puppet, and she holds the strings. Real strength comes from not needing her validation. You validate yourself. You know your worth whether she notices it or not. That confidence makes you magnetic. Ironically, when you stop seeking her approval, she starts giving it more freely. Why? Because she's drawn to men who don't beg for it. Validation seeking also creates pressure. When she feels you hanging on her every reaction, she loses interest. But when she feels you're solid, unshaken, and self-assured, she respects you. Respect is what makes her chase. Not pity, not approval, not validation. Men, you need to wake up. The world has conditioned you to believe that women's opinions define you. But the truth is, a woman respects a man who defines himself. Stop looking at her to confirm your value. That's your job. When you let go of validation, you shift the balance of power. She's no longer the one who decides if you're good enough. You are. And when she sees that strength, it forces her to look at you differently. Suddenly, she's chasing your attention because it's clear you're not begging for hers. Validation is weakness. Self-respect is strength. Choose strength, and she'll have no choice but to follow. 9. Pull away to pull her in. Here's a principle most men completely misunderstand. Sometimes the best way to draw a woman closer is by stepping back. Sounds crazy, right? But attraction isn't built when you're always in her face. It grows when there's space. When you pull away, you create room for her to feel your absence. And that's when she starts chasing. The problem is, too many men do the opposite. They smother her with attention, blow up her phone, and make themselves too available. They think that the more energy they pour in, the more she'll respond. But in reality, the more you push, the more she pulls back. You've probably seen it happen. You lean in harder, and she suddenly gets distant. Why? Because she feels no need to move toward you. You've already given her everything. Pulling away doesn't mean ghosting or being cold. It means removing the pressure. It's choosing not to text first all the time. It's keeping your focus on your own life instead of obsessing over hers. It's showing her that you won't beg for her presence because you already have purpose without her. Think about how attraction actually works. People value what they fear losing. When you step back, she notices the gap. She wonders what you're doing, why you're not chasing, and who else has your attention. That wondering builds tension, and tension is the fuel of attraction. Pulling away also tests her investment. If she's truly interested, she'll step forward to close the distance. She'll reach out, she'll initiate, she'll try to bring you back in, but if she doesn't, that's your answer. She was never really chasing in the first place. Either way, you win. Men need to wake up to this. Constantly giving and pushing is not strength, it's neediness. Real strength is knowing when to step back and let her come to you. It shows confidence, self-control, and most importantly, value. The irony is this: the less you try to hold on, the harder she'll try to hold on to you. That's the pull-push dynamic of attraction. So stop clinging, stop chasing, and stop over-investing. Pull away just enough, and watch how fast she moves toward you. Sometimes silence speaks louder than words. Sometimes distance builds more desire than closeness. Learn to pull away, and she'll have no choice but to pull you back in. 10. Control yourself. Control her desire. If you want to know the ultimate secret to making a woman chase you, it's this: control yourself. Most men lose the game not because women reject them, but because they can't control their emotions, their words, or their actions. They overreact, they get jealous too quickly, they beg for attention, or they explode when things don't go their way. And every time a man loses control, he loses respect. And once respect is gone, desire is gone. Women test men constantly, sometimes without even realizing it. They want to see if you can stay calm under pressure, if you can keep your frame when things don't go your way. The moment you crack, when you start chasing harder, blowing up her phone, or acting insecure, she knows she has power over you. And the man she controls is never the man she desires. Control is magnetic. When you can control your emotions, you come across as stable and unshakable. When you can control your attention, you show her that you're not desperate for her time. When you can control your sexual energy, you show her that you're disciplined and not ruled by your impulses. That kind of control makes her lean in because it sets you apart from the majority of men who are led by their emotions and lust. Think about the times you've seen men lose it, whether it's jealousy, anger, or obsession. Did those men look attractive, or did they look weak? Women don't chase men who are slaves to their feelings. They chase men who remain calm, grounded, and in control no matter what. This doesn't mean you should be emotionless. It means you should master yourself first. Be the man who doesn't get thrown off by a late reply. Be the man who doesn't need to prove himself through outbursts or begging. Be the man who can walk away without flinching if respect is missing. That level of self-control is rare. And remember, what's rare is always desired. Here's the truth. The man who controls himself controls the dynamic. He sets the pace, he sets the standard, and he forces her to rise to meet him. And when she sees that level of strength, she can't help but chase it. Master yourself, and you'll master the game. Lose yourself, and you'll lose her. Conclusion. Let's end this with something most men won't like to hear. Women don't actually want to be chased, because deep down, they only respect the man they have to chase. That flips everything society has been telling you on its head. You've been raised to believe that real men pursue endlessly, that love means sacrifice, and that persistence will eventually pay off. But the harsh truth is this: chasing is weakness, and weakness never creates desire. Here's the part that stings. If she isn't chasing you at some point, you were never truly attractive to her in the first place. She might enjoy your attention, she might use your energy, but she will never desire you. And if there's no desire, there is no future. That's the ugly reality most men ignore because it hurts too much. But ignoring it doesn't change it. The men who win are the ones who flip the script. They stop chasing, they value themselves, and they force women to invest. These are the men women talk about late at night, the ones they can't get out of their heads, not the ones who begged for dates or sent 20 texts in a row. So here's my challenge to you. Look at your life and ask yourself honestly, are you the man chasing, or are you the man being chased? If you don't like the answer, it's time to change. Now I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below about your own experience. When did you chase? When did you stop? And how did things turn out? I'll be reading and reaching out because this isn't just content, it's a conversation. Let's connect, let's be real, and let's finally wake up together.